Hello, and welcome to our lesson on quantitative risk assessment. This segment will continue to cover updating risk register, risk report, and contingency reserve. A contingency reserve is money or time within a project's budget or schedule to account for unforeseen events or risks during project execution. Contingency reserves serve as a buffer to mitigate the impact of risks on project objectives such as cost overruns or schedule delays. These reserves allow project managers to address unexpected challenges without jeopardizing the project's success. Contingency reserves are often determined based on the expected monetary value (EMV) analysis, where the calculated EMV represents the expected cost or time impact of risks. The contingency reserve is added to the project budget or schedule to accommodate these potential impacts. The size of the contingency reserve may vary depending on the level of uncertainty associated with the project and the desired degree of confidence in achieving project objectives. The degree of confidence refers to the certainty or assurance that the project will achieve its objectives within the established constraints. Higher degrees of confidence require larger contingency reserves to account for a wider range of potential risks and uncertainties. Conversely, lower degrees of confidence may warrant smaller contingency reserves, but may also entail higher levels of risk exposure. In summary, contingency reserves are closely linked to EMV and the degree of confidence as they help address the uncertainties inherent in project management by providing a financial or temporal cushion to mitigate the impact of risks. Properly estimating and managing contingency reserves based on EMV analysis and the desired degree of confidence is essential for effective risk management and project success. Calculating a contingency reserve based on expected monetary value, EMV, involves a systematic approach to quantifying risks' potential impact on project objectives and determining the reserve needed to mitigate these risks. Here's how to calculate a contingency reserve using EMV. 1. Identify risks. Begin by identifying and assessing the individual project risks that could potentially impact project objectives, such as cost or schedule. Consider both threats and opportunities that may arise during project execution. 2. Quantify risks. Assign numerical values to the probabilities of each identified risk event occurring and estimate the potential impact of these events on project objectives, typically in terms of cost or time. 3. Calculate expected monetary value, EMV. Multiply the probability of each risk event by its corresponding impact to calculate the EMV for each risk. The formula for EMV is EMV equals the probability of a risk event multiplied by the impact of the risk event. Sum up the EMV values for all identified risks to obtain the total EMV for the project. 4. Determine degree of confidence. Decide on the desired degree of confidence or certainty level for achieving project objectives. This could be based on organizational risk tolerance, stakeholder expectations, or industry standards. 5. Establish contingency reserve. Based on the total EMV calculated in Step 3 and the desired degree of confidence determined in Step 4, allocate a contingency reserve to cover potential cost or schedule overruns due to risks. The contingency reserve should provide sufficient funds to address uncertainties while maintaining the desired confidence level in achieving project objectives. 6. Adjust project budget or schedule. Incorporate the calculated contingency reserve into the project budget or schedule. Ensure the contingency reserve is identified and earmarked for addressing identified risks throughout project execution. 7. Monitor and manage risks. Continuously monitor project risks and update the contingency reserve as needed throughout the project lifecycle. Be prepared to reallocate resources from the contingency reserve to mitigate emerging risks or take advantage of unforeseen opportunities. By following these steps, project managers can effectively calculate a contingency reserve based on expected monetary value, EMV, to mitigate risks and enhance the likelihood of project success. In this lecture, we delved into the Perform Quantitative Risk Analysis process, a step typically undertaken immediately following performing qualitative risk analysis and aims to numerically quantify probability and impact and prioritize project risks, enabling project teams to concentrate their efforts on addressing high-priority risks and formulating robust risk response plans. We explored various techniques, including the Monte Carlo simulation, sensitivity analysis, decision trees, influence diagrams, and other quantitative assessment methods. Moreover, similar to what we did in qualitative risk analysis, we emphasized updating the risk register to reflect all performed quantitative risk analysis process outputs. This ensures the register remains a comprehensive repository of project risks and associated information, facilitating informed decision-making and effective risk management practices. Looking ahead, our focus will shift to the Plan Risk Responses process in the following lecture. Here, we will delve into different strategies for responding to risks, whether as threats or opportunities, and how to calculate contingencies or buffers to account for identified risks. This is the end of our lesson. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening and see you on our next lesson.